Hi guys, hi there. I'm just gonna quickly play this while I make my coffee. Here we go. Okay, let's pause it. So, where are we? Hi guys, was it? And that probably was echoing a bit because I didn't have my earphones plugged in. Was it echoing? Let me know, guys. Was that echoing? Oh, it's still chilly. Just made every song so beautiful with feeling. So, let me just tell Salvatore that we're live. We're live now. We're live. Okay, right. So I'm sure some of you will join. Yeah, I thought it would be echoing because it doesn't matter because I'll delete it later because YouTube won't let me play it anyway. So it doesn't matter. So the live today, this is part 2 of the Carol Connor, the relationship between Carol Connor and Elvis Presley. Many of you want to know, if in case you didn't watch part 1, Carol Connor was part of a group called the Teddy Bears. Let's get it up. And I'll just play a few seconds of this because I've already played it a few times. Hang on a minute, guys. Pause it. And she... Okay, Salvatore. So obviously she sang this beautiful ballad in 1958, September. I'll only play a few seconds of it because we've already played it a few times. But we are going to look at interviews of how she met Elvis, how she dated Elvis. Now, I'll play a little bit of the interview of Stefan. Stefan, artist on record. He's obviously a friend of our channel. And she does discuss how she met Elvis. Of course, we've got a butter coffee. You must have butter coffee, guys. So, Salvatore, how are you feeling this morning? Obviously, let me just remind everyone that we're live. Let's have a look quickly. Okay. Let's just go on. What I tend to do is just go on defending Elvis. So in case you don't know, we have a 24-hour chat on our Facebook page that you join. It's called Defending Elvis Presley. Please join it. It's got well over 6,000 members now. It's the success of our Facebook page is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I literally cannot believe every day we're getting I reckon about 70, 80 members a day joining it, which is just wow. So I've just said that we're live on the... Okay, right. Some of you, obviously a lot of you are in America, 40% of you are in America. So good morning to you. Hope you've had a good night's sleep. You're probably watching the replay. Tell us where you're from. Leave it in the comments. Let me know if you watch it on the replay. Oh, well done, Salvatore. That's good. Yeah, I know you watch the replays, don't you, Salvatore? Many of the Americans do, but we are very proud of our British members. There's 21% of you are from England. We have quite a lot of you in Australia, Canada, and many other countries, guys. Scotland as well, Wales. Thank you so much. So, like for example, we'll probably get about 200 people watch this now. Right through the day today, but then through the night we'll probably get another 300. So around 200 to 300 of you watch our live streams on replay. Yeah, so we're averaging, if you can go and look for yourselves, guys, we're averaging between, I would say, 300 and 600 people per live, which is pretty good because we do about 3 lives a day. So we're averaging around 1,500 to 2,000 views a day. I think that's great because I do a lot of lives, don't I, guys? So so let's quickly just play this song, then we're going to jump in. I'm only going to play a bit of this song, then we're going to jump in and find out how Carol Connor met Elvis Presley. This is part 2. There's a part 1 to this. Just so you know, she's a songwriter, a beautiful singer. She wrote many successful songs, including the Rocky song, for example. She is a self-made woman in many ways. She's amazing. She speaks beautifully of when she met Elvis. She loved Elvis. She was devastated when he passed, just like we all were. So Carol Connor, you really are a 1 in a million. So Stefan on Artist on Record has recently interviewed her, which is why she's come up as a topic. I have told Stefan that we are going to review some of this interview. Oh, thanks, Brenda. I think we're friendly. I think we're friendly. We get a bad rap. We have other channels trying to call us names, but I think we're lovely. I think we're very kind. I really do. Right. Let's just play just 30 seconds of it, and then we're going to find these interviews, see if it comes up. Okay. Let's have a look. Let's see if the interview comes up. Come on, where are you? Why are you? There we are. Da-da-da.
This Rocky and me.
Okay, right. So this is, now remember, this is Stefan's show. This, not my show, his show. So we are reviewing it. Okay. In a good way. Let me just double check your comments. And then we are gonna get on with it. We're trying to discover why, how she met Elvis, how Carol, because she dated him, and any information that she gives us about what happened between them after he passed as well, and also just what Elvis was like as a human being. We all know he was amazing. So we're going to learn as we go. This whole show for the next half an hour is going to be dedicated to learning about Carol and Elvis. That is... All right, so Brenda, I was blessed to see Elvis live in concert in the early 70s in Chicago. Wow. Wow, Brenda, amazing. I think Salvatore saw Elvis. Didn't you, Salvatore? I watched the whole Dave Hepburn interview yesterday, and I just know I've seen that before. Yeah. I'll be honest with you guys, you know, the Dave Hepburn interview upset me because I just found that he did come across very badly. Dave Hepburn. He did, for an elderly man, and I respect my elders, but wasn't good. But anyway, let's play Stefan's interview. We're going to stop and start it because we're doing a reaction, and then we will also look at other interviews that Carol Connor has given discussing her relationship dating Elvis Presley. Okay, guys, let's go.
Now, for everybody watching, I know what everybody's asking. I want to know about Elvis Presley.
Well, I said I got a woman. We're crossed town.
Let's go down the rabbit hole with Elvis Presley. What happened, Carol? Let's talk.
Well, I'll only talk about...
Today on Artist on Record, welcome Carol Connors. She dated Elvis. She won an Academy Award for co-writing the Rocky theme song and also was in a band with Phil Spector. Let's talk to Carol about Elvis today.
So I'm in a market, if you can picture this. I'm in a market and this...
So the quality is pretty bad, which is unusual for Stefan because he normally gets it right. I think it's probably because on Carol's side, is she using her phone? I don't know. But if you just listen carefully, you can pick it out. Okay, guys? So she starts off, I'm in a market. Some creepy guy approaches me, blah, blah, blah. This is how they met. Now, the backstory is, I think that Elvis obviously had heard her singing, to know him is to love him, and it goes from there.
Creepy guy comes up to me and says, aren't you the girl that sang To Know Him is to Love Him?
To know him.
And I went, yeah, as I'm buying a carton of milk. Or was it a carton of eggs? You can't buy them today, but then you can buy them. And I said, yes. And he said, Elvis Presley loves your voice and would love to meet you. And I went, yeah, right, sure, of course. Yeah, what else? And he said, no. Well, like my father, who lived on the edge. I gave him my phone number. But in those days,
I gave him my phone number. Would you give him your phone number if you're a youngster, you know, in 1958, 59, 60, whenever this was, and a guy come up to you and said, you know, Elvis would like to meet you, would you give him your phone number? Would you do it? It wasn't the right thing to do back then. Ladies, leave it in the comments. Would you? Please tell me.
did not do that. And 2 weeks later, this creepy little guy calls me. He was sort of the outskirts of the Memphis Mafia, which were all the guys that hung around Elvis, Lamar, and you know, all his Charlie, whatever. So
Would you?
he says, I'm going to come pick you up. And my mother's going, hey,
Oh, Helen. That's just so fun. I mean, not Helen, Debbie. Debbie. I would give him whatever he wanted. Ladies, control yourselves. It's a respectable show. And it also got people that support him. I watched the whole interview. Very sad. Let's have a look. Yeah, Salvatore. Yeah, it was, wasn't it, mate? Or is that he will always get haters. Yeah, he will always get haters. He will. Write in that book. Brenda, Elvis was truly mesmerizing to look at. Oh, wow. Brenda, we have a Facebook page called Elvis Presley Fan on... we have a Facebook page called Defending Elvis Presley. Please join it. Then you can chat with the guys. We have a 24-hour chat. We also have another channel called Elvis Presley Fan on Keto on YouTube, where we help each other's health and we discuss Elvis. I repeat, we have another YouTube channel called Elvis Presley Fan on Keto, where we talk about Elvis, but we also help each other's health, how we eat, how to live longer, how to keep well, how to feel good. So you're very welcome to join them, and it's all free. It's all free. It doesn't cost any money. Right. Let's come on. Let's learn about Carol meeting Elvis.
yes, you know, I was very precocious. Sure enough, guy came, creepy little guy, took me to Elvis's, walked down these steps, and in the far end of the room was this beautiful human being that looked like a cat. And
a beautiful human being that looked like a cat.
I mean, moved like a cat.
Like a panther.
And I love kitty cats. I have Abyssinians. I love cats. And I felt like a mouse. And he came up to me finally. I was on this side and he was over there. And he walked over to me and he said, so why do you name group teddy bears? Those were his first words to me.
Do you hear that? Did you hear that? Why did you name your group teddy bears? Obviously, Carol's group were called teddy bears. I don't know the story about what's his name, Phil Spector. I don't really know that much about it. I know that he was pretty dodgy and he killed someone. Is that right? But the Phil Spector music, his influence on it, I'm not sure exactly what it was. I haven't done my research on Phil Spector, but that sound, that the beautiful sound of the 50s and early 60s. You can't knock the music. The music was amazing. Oh yeah, thank Brenda. The main thing is, if you want to chat with these guys, they're on the Facebook page Defending Elvis Presley, and there's a chat button. You click chat, and then you can chat with these and we are called Team Elvis. In case you don't know, Brenda, we are called Team Elvis. We are a group. We are a small family. We all know each other. We welcome new people to join us. We welcome people to become part of Team Elvis so we can defend Elvis. We defend Elvis, Lisa Marie, and the bloodline. We defend Elvis, Lisa Marie, and Riley, Finley, Harper, Gladys, Vernon, and Benjamin. Yeah, it's what we do. We do it every day. We do it every day with love, with kindness. So Salvatore, Phil Spector has influenced many, many people, but Yeah, I agree. Salvatore says, but he was a creep. Yeah, he was. Okay. Let's keep going, guys.
And I thought, oh my God, that really is Elvis Presley, isn't it? And I didn't know what to do. I was like tongue tied and I went, just want to be your teddy bear. And that started our love affair. He thought I had a great sense of humor. If you look at a picture or put a picture of Priscilla and myself in those days side by side, he told me that I resembled Priscilla. He had not married her, he had met her. And I think, because when To Know Him was released, he was in Germany, 1958.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. It gives us a timeline. So he would have listened to this during basic training, yeah? Or no, 1958. Let's work it out. So he did his basic training in 58. Then he went over to Germany to serve his time, to do his duty, which he was proud to do. So he was listening to the Teddy Bears, To Know Him, To Love Him, whilst serving for his country.
I think that might have been one of his favorite. I've never asked Priscilla. I should ask him this because I know her quite well. I think that might have been one of their songs.
Oh, she knows Priscilla quite well. That's interesting.
Together. Stop to think about that.
Elvis ever sing you To Know Him? Like just you two together?
We used to harmonize together, but the songs that we did were, okay, wise men say only fools rush in. And the other one was, and I can't help falling in love with you.
So they used to harmonize songs together. That's just beautiful, isn't that? Don't we all envy that? Singing with Elvis, whether we can sing or not. Imagine singing with Elvis in the shower, ladies. Are there any ladies that would like to sing with Elvis in the shower? Just messing around. So, yeah, Nancy, I don't know if there are pictures of Carol with Elvis. I don't know. Probably not.
The Hawaiian love song.
Oh, yeah.
The story. La da da da.
I will love you longer and forever.
We stayed friends up until the end. Our love affair lasted about 9.5 months. He told Shelley Fabre it was 2.5 years, and I said, Elvis, it was more off than on. It was 9.5 months. I should have had a baby, but I didn't have a baby. But
Karen, behave. You're being naughty.
I threw, oh my God. That we were at an event, and that's when he said that to her when I was walking down the stairs. He was always so generous. Joe Esposito, right-hand man, would always make sure that my girlfriends and I were like front row or wherever in one of the booths at the end.
Do you know what? I've heard this a few times now. Joe Esposito, he would help people get to the front booths, in the shows. He was in charge of seating people, and I've heard that a few times now.
International, and would come backstage, and he was so happy for me when we did Rocky.
Oh, Salvatore. So, Salvatore, I'm a guy and I would like to sing with Elvis in the shower. I do know what you mean, though. I do know. Now, there is some truth to this. Salvatore, when Tom Jones met Elvis, one of the times he met him, Elvis was in the shower naked, and they were chatting to each other. Elvis was showering. Tom Jones was stood there, and Elvis was bare butt naked. Have any of you heard that story?
And what happened with them.
Really?
Yes. But you want to hear the amazing thing? He didn't.
Would I want to sing naked in the shower with Elvis? Yes, as long as I'm in it and he's out of it, or the other way around.
He was offered Chris Christopherson's role to play against next to Barbra Streisand. And if you look at the biopic, there's even a scene where it says, well, Colonel Parker and Streisand don't get along, so I'm not going to do the movie.
So we know about this. There's going to be a little clip now showing it. Come on, guys. We know that if Elvis had done that movie, because he was clearly offered it by Barbra Streisand, it would have turned his whole life around. Seriously, I truly believe it. And I'll be honest with you, Chris Christopherson, he's okay, but come on. Nothing like Elvis. I don't care how many people have watched that film and liked that film. Elvis being in that film would have been much better. I know it won awards, but A Star is Born with Elvis Presley, come on, opposite Barbara Streisand, Chris Christopherson wouldn't stand a chance. He wouldn't stand a chance. It would have been a dream come true. It would have transformed his life. So Karen, Tom was in the shower. Ah, right, okay. After his show, and Elvis was singing over the shower to him. Louis, you ask us these questions, and then we reply. We get told off. Sorry, Debbie. You've sussed it. I'm going to ask you some more questions. Right, so obviously this is quite an emotional little 5-second scene where Elvis basically says that because of the Colonel, he says no.
I've never done anything lasting. I never made the classic film that I could be proud of.
What about A Star is Born?
Barbara, the Colonel.
Very, very touching scene. And I do love the Austin Butler film. I love Austin Butler. I'm a massive fan of Austin Butler. But there are lots of parts of that film that I'm disappointed in. But I also completely understand that that film relaunched Elvis to the masses, to a new generation of fans, which is amazing. But they did get things wrong, didn't they? They did get things wrong in that film. I don't want to trash the film because I recommend it. I want people to watch it. But some of the things in it are a bit silly. Some of the things. Elvis deserves even better. Even better. Yeah. Bella Presley. Hi, Bella. It was a good movie, but not better than The Real Thing. I like Kurt Russell's film. I like Kurt Russell's film. In fact, I may watch it today. I'm a fan of the Kurt Russell one. That's my favourite Elvis film. The Priscilla film was a complete joke. Sofia Coppola's Priscilla film is a total joke.
I, to this day, believe that if Elvis would have done A Star is Born, he would have lived because he so wanted to be respected. I think that he would have gotten, and I've asked Talia and I've asked Diane Warren, who's my buddy, the GOAT, as I call her. I hope she wins the Oscar, finally wins it. And I asked him, we all agree that he probably would have gotten nominated for an Oscar if he would have done that role.
I agree with that. I agree 100%. If Elvis had done Star is Born, he would have got nominated, at least nominated.
He would have lived. He wouldn't have won because I know the way, I don't think he would have won. Mm-hmm. The Academy works. But the bottom line is, I think it would have saved his life.
He was a great actor. I mean, Love Me Tender.
Yes.
So that's an interesting comment. Kathy Westmoreland book, this was said to her, to Kathy, but it was changed that it was said to Priscilla. None of us are surprised. Now, I don't want to put anyone off, but we do expose Priscilla's wrongdoing. We don't hate Priscilla. We expose her wrongdoing. She's done a lot of things wrong to Elvis. So we expose that. No hate. Just that's how we feel. Okay, guys?
Yes.
You know, besides all the other movies in the 60s that he was doing, but if you look at Love Me Tender, it was a great, really serious, great role.
Everything's gonna be all right.
Well, he loved...
I agree with what Stefan said. He was very, very capable. Obviously, James Dean was going to play originally, I think, I'm pretty sure, the King Creole role, the lead in King Creole. Unfortunately, he passes in the car accident. But Elvis had the ability to be a fantastic actor. He took it very seriously. Obviously, you always learned all of his own lines and all of everyone else's lines. I really do think when Elvis made his initial movies, you know, the first 4, 5, 6, 7 movies, he really wanted to be taken seriously, to be respected. He really put everything into it. I think he was a natural. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be because the studios went with the money, the big money, which is why eventually we do the corny films. But we have to admit, as fans, I do, and many of you here do, we loved all the films. We loved all of Elvis's films. But yes, King Creole, Love Me Tender, Jailhouse Rock, these films showed that he did have amazing amount of talent bottled up. Unfortunately, it was wasted. But we still love Elvis in the movies because he looks great. He looks young and healthy and happy in these early 60s, what some of you may call cheesy movies. But yeah, let's keep going, guys.
James Dean.
James Dean, right. I was going to say James Wooden. I knew it was James Dean. The day that he died, I was at the Polo Lounge in a business meeting. It was after Rocky. And do you remember the little Philip Morris man?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yes.
He came running in and he was like crying. And he screamed out, Elvis Presley just died. Elvis Presley just died. And
Elvis Presley, the singer.
Right, before we jump onto that section, I get this comment we've just had. Obviously, Karen said his timing was amazing, but how can I say it? A lot of us, I think, a lot of Elvis fans fell in love with Elvis through his movies. Even though some people trash them and call them cheesy and corny and the scripts kept repeating themselves, I do think many of us went through the 70s with the reruns when they were rerunning these films. Like in my country, it was every Saturday afternoon they would play an Elvis film. I do think many of us fell in love with Elvis through these movies. So I love them all. I love them all. Of course, I've got my favourites. King Creole has always been one of my favourites. So is Jailhouse Rock. And do you know what? Love Me Tender, the more I watch it, the more I like it. But my point is, I think Elvis earned many more fans through the movies. And of course, and his singing and abilities and how great he looked. But the movies, especially now, obviously 50 years later, 40 years later, you learn to appreciate the movies, I think, in a different way. I think in hindsight, you see the movies differently. I love them all. I love them all.
Singer who shaked, rattled, and rolled his way to rock history in the 1950s died today in Memphis. He was 42.
And the whole room gave a collective sigh of intense sadness. And I just fell apart. And I went home and I sat down at my piano. And from 4 o'clock in the afternoon till 4 o'clock in the morning, I wrote the song that is the reason that the documentary was done. It's called You Loved My Night Away. It was a
You Love My Night Away. Let me just see that. So Carol Connors, You Love My Night Away. Let me just see if that comes up. 1 second, guys. Carol Connors, You Love My Night Away. You Love My Night Away. Let's just see if it comes up on YouTube, guys. I haven't heard this. No, it's not coming up. You Love My Night. It's not coming up, guys. Oh, what's this? Carol Connors, The Night Away. Let me just see what happens when I press play on this. I'm going to do a bit of research and just find out if it is that. But let's keep going, guys.
tribute to my feelings and his feelings towards me. And I never changed one note. I never changed one word. I put it in my piano bench. And now it's the reason the whole documentary got made.
Your touch.
Just find out if it is that. Let's keep going, guys.
And I, to this day, believe, I know this sounds, and I'm not, like a crazy religious fanatic or anything, and channeling with Shirley MacLaine, but I do believe that Elvis was in the room with me somewhere. because I played it for three major composers, and all three of them looked at me when I finished playing it on the piano and said, "Where did you come up with those chords, Carol? Where?" And I went, "I don't know. They were just there." And I believe that Elvis guided me to that for some reason.
So I'm a little bit unsure here because she's talking about obviously something she wrote, some chords that were very special. I don't exactly know. Was she involved in some of the music in the Baz Luhrmann film? I'm a bit unclear here.
And it's all in the documentary.
I could see that. I'm with you. I don't believe in all that stuff, but there's something. I don't know what it is, but there's something there. Do you remember your last conversation with Elvis?
The fan looks very clean faced. Does he have a shave or something? Something's different. Stefan, what have you done?
Sort of. I was at the International. It was one of his last shows before he died. He was with Ginger. That was his girlfriend at the time. And not Linda Thompson, but Ginger. And I remember that we had gone through the kitchen or something to go up to the suite, because he had, the big suite, and we were sitting there, and he looked so ill and so, I won't use the word that I see in my head. I'm just not going to say it. And I think I said to him, "Elvis, please take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself." It's almost like I don't even know what to do.
This is obviously heartbreaking, but I think all of us would have done the same thing if we saw Elvis towards the end. Come on, guys, he didn't look well. You'd want to just grab him, cuddle him, and say, "Please take care of yourself." You'd want to help him, wouldn't you? I completely understand how she felt, especially being that he dated her and they stayed friends from when he dated her. They were friends till the day he died. She goes on to say now, I think she says she kissed him on the cheek and told him to take care of himself. So what would you do, guys? Can I ask a question like that? Team Elvis, what would you do if you saw Elvis months before he passes? What would you say to him? Would you give him a cuddle? What would you do, guys? Leave it in the comments. I'm very interested. What would your words be to Elvis to try and make a difference, to try and prevent the sad ending that happened? What would you say, guys? Team Elvis, put it in the comments.
In the state he was in. And he kissed me goodbye on the cheek, and my girlfriends and I left the room.
That was it.
And that was the
He kissed me goodbye on the cheek.
last time I saw him.
Sad.
Yeah.
Very sad. Sad because the guy had so much talent. And it's from interviews I've done with people who are.
And Stefan says the guy had so much talent. But you know what? It isn't about, to me, it isn't just the talent, is it? He was a beautiful man inside and out. That's what hurts me the most. Yes, he was great to look at and the most gifted man that's ever lived, the most beautiful voice in history, and always will be. But it's not that breaks my heart. What breaks my heart is that Elvis had a heart of gold. He was a beautiful man, I'm talking about his soul, his spirit, his heart. That's what breaks my heart, that he died so young, so unwell. I don't know what to say, guys. It's heartbreaking. That's all I can say.
We're friends with him through his stepbrothers. He had a lot of heart. He gave a lot. He was a good person inside.
He was a good person inside. Just that, I get tearful with just those words. He was a good person inside. And this is why we are called Defending Elvis. I have to throw this in there. To anybody that thinks Elvis doesn't need defending, this is it, guys. This beautiful man inside and out that did as much as he could to help people, really did just want to do good for everyone. Literally wanted to give away everything he had. Loved his fans from the bottom of his heart. this beautiful man, is so unfairly treated. These horrible books, these horrible movies and trash interviews and fake Elvis channels that are bashing Elvis. His horrible treatment at the hands of Priscilla Presley. Now, I don't hate Priscilla, but she did a lot of things wrong to Elvis. So he didn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve it. So anybody that says to me Elvis doesn't need defending, you really, really need to re-look at your thoughts about how Elvis has been treated for the last 60 years. Elvis has been unfairly treated since the 50s. Even in the 50s, when Elvis first became famous, he was very unfairly treated. A beautiful man. And as soon as he had a taste of fame, he's on TV singing a beautiful gospel song. That's Elvis. Elvis was it 1956 singing gospel on TV. He didn't have to. He wanted to. He wanted to. Very misunderstood by many people, Elvis, because of all of the negative crap that is said about him, which is why we defend Elvis Presley with pride every day. Every day.
Yeah, he was. And I asked Joe Esposito before Joe passed away. I was at an event with him because he knew everything. I mean, he was like Colonel Parker, Joe Esposito, and they took care of Elvis. And I said, did Elvis, because every woman says this, every girl, you think he really cared about me? And Joe said, yeah, Carol, he adored you, just adored you. You were so special to him, and he was so proud of you.
Very touching. Whew. That bit. Ugh. I'll drink some coffee. Heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. She just wanted to know if he truly loved her, truly liked her, was a genuine partner, friend. So anyway, I want to read out your comments because it's an important question. What would you say to him if you saw him? Ugh, it's upsetting just thinking about it, but it's a tough question to ask you. Team Elvis, what would you say to Elvis if you saw him months before he passed? Yeah, because of how he looked, the look in his eyes, his body language, his facial expressions, just the way he walked and talked. There was a big difference, wasn't there? The last year, 2 years. So let's see what you guys have to say. I'm going to struggle reading this, but I'm going to give it a go. You know I'm a big baby, guys. You know I'm a crybaby, but I'll try to say your comment. So Bella, yeah, Nancy, you can't watch that scene. I get it. I get it, Nancy. So Salvatore, he dies at the end and the kind of show his spirit in heaven. Karen, we used to listen and dance to Elvis all the time at home, but I'll never forget as a child seeing Elvis for the first time in a movie. This was the man we loved to listen to. Amazing. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, Nancy, you must watch it. It's free on YouTube. Nancy, the film Love Me Tender, it's free on YouTube. You must watch it. It's beautiful. Quite upsetting. So Salvatore is telling us a memory. When he sat down at the piano and played You'll Never Walk Alone, I was so close. I could see the sweat dripping on his keys. He was great. Ah, Salvatore. What a lovely thing to share with us. Thank you, Salvatore, my friend. Right, so let's answer the question. What would you do if you saw Elvis a few months before he passed? Tough, guys. Salvatore, come on, Elvis. We love you so much. Please take care of yourself. Bella Presley, I would give him a hug and say, look after yourself. Debbie, I would try to get him to hospital, but give him a big cuddle and tell him he had a lot to live for. Woo! Oh, guys, I need to take a breath. Whoa. I'm going to try. I'm such a big baby. I'm going to try and read this. Hang on. Right. Karen, exactly the same. I would hug him and say, please take care of yourself and put... Whew. Hang on. I can do this. And put yourself first. You're so important. Salvatore, you are music and we need you. Jane, I keep getting phone calls. Oh, sorry. Jane, how are you? Jane, you're very welcome. Brenda. Brenda, you have a very interesting last name. Stonich. It's a very interesting name. I like your name. Yes, I believe as a true friend, I would have a talk with Elvis with love and my words. Thank you, Brenda. Yeah, Bella, it is a shame, isn't it? Lorna, I'd give him a big, tight hug and tell him to take care of himself. Tonya, hi, Tonya. I would tell him that I love him. Hang on a minute. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. That he has so many fans that love him. Oh, Tonya. I would be praying for him and that Jesus loves him the most. He knew that. He knew that Jesus loved him. That's one thing we do know. With all his insecurities, he knew that Jesus loved him. Yeah, he loved his gospel music, didn't he, guys? Right, Nancy, did she ever get married and have children? I'll try and look it up, Nancy. Oh, actually, no. I watched the whole interview. She never married. She never married. She said that she was married to music. She was a songwriter, a very accomplished musician and songwriter and singer. So, no, she never married, Nancy. He told his mother he was going to do a gospel song on the Ed Sullivan Show. Yes. It's Peace in the Valley. Peace in the Valley, yeah? And they tried to stop him, didn't they? But he did it anyway. He did it anyway. Yeah, Bella, it makes you want to cry, doesn't it, Bella? It's tough. Yeah, Nancy, you're very interested in her. Don't worry, we're gonna try and find out a few more things, okay, Nancy? I believe that the great love that flowed through him was reciprocated. It was the love of God through him, and he knew it. Thank you, Tonya. I agree. That's why we remember him 50 years after he's passed. When people say, because obviously all of us here are Elvis fans, have been our whole lives. Why are we still Elvis fans? I discovered Elvis when I was 4. Why is it 50 years later we still love him just as much as the day we discovered him? Well, number one, he transformed our lives. When I discovered Elvis, it changed me. I became a different person. That feeling I had when I discovered Elvis is still with me. In my soul, in my heart. It's who I am. Yeah? Part of it. How can I explain this? Who I grew to become is partly because of Elvis. My love for Elvis, my respect for him, my admiration for him. It shaped who I became, and my parents, and my family, and my friends. But Elvis did mold me, and I think we all feel this way. Everyone watching now, we all were molded partly by discovering Elvis. We were changed forever, and we still feel the same way, whether it be 10 years after, 20 or 50 or 60 or 70 years after. Yeah, not 70, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Right, so John Sims. Hi, John. He needed a break from the Colonel and the rest and proper medical attention. Very true. Larry, EP could have said, gold and silver have I none, but I give you all I have. I have God's love and salvation through his son, Jesus, that I give freely. Beautiful. Larry, beautiful. Do you know what? Sometimes I think Elvis was happiest before he became famous. I know that he was poor and they struggled in Mississippi, Tupelo, but he was happy. Even when Elvis first moves over to Memphis, he was happy. He was happy. Of course, when he first becomes famous, he's ecstatic. Sometimes I wonder if fame and fortune put him on the wrong path. Now, we all benefited from his music, his movies, his personality, the way he looked, the way he changed the world. But there was a price to pay, because we all enjoyed the music and everything that Elvis gave to the world. But then we lose him so young, at 42. So there was, Nancy, I like that. True friends that truly loved him, that managed to be with him, see him, talk to him. Let's go and sit down and chat. Let's have a chat. I wonder how many people did manage in the last 12 months to just sit with Elvis and try and truly help him. Very, very interesting point, Nancy. Yeah, Salvatore, I believe 100 years from now, we will still be loving Elvis. Yeah. Me and you, Salvatore, will be in heaven. Yeah. Having a sing-song together, me and Salvatore. But we'll still remember Elvis in 100 years' time. Love never dies, it can't. Thank you, Tonya. Bella, because he is an amazing person. Inside and out. It's such a beautiful feeling to see so much love for Elvis this many years later with so many generations. Yeah, thank you, Brenda. Sherry, I know what you mean, Louis. I was exactly the same. God bless him. I was very poor as a child, and those are my favourite memories. Me too. Me too. Salvatore, yes. I had a very poor upbringing, but I had very many happy memories as well. We get bad memories as well. It wasn't all good. Growing up in the 70s, parents were very different, very strict. But yeah, I still have amazing memories of the 70s. And we had nothing. We had nothing. Salvatore, I agree. When I was at the concert at Graceland, a number of children dressed in jumpsuits and singing was unbelievable. They are the next generation for sure. Yeah, Karen was there. Karen was at Graceland. She saw it. Karen, we're going to be doing a special on Emilio Santoro. I don't know if we've got time to do it today, but we are going to be doing one. In case you don't know, guys, Emilio is a massively successful Elvis tribute act that is from my hometown, Weston-super-Mare. I know his family really well. I've met him many times. He's a great guy. He's massively successful around the world. So we're going to do a show about him to discuss him because he's from my hometown, Weston-super-Mare. I'll be in heaven, Salvatore. I wasn't that bad. Let's have a look. I think he would have been married with more than one kid, and of course, he would have been friends with all the women in the neighborhood. But he would be happy. I agree, Nancy. I agree. I think Elvis, if he hadn't become famous, would have been a great guy. Would have married young, had a big family. Would have been a great father, a great grandfather. He would have had loads of kids, and he would have been very, very loved by all of his community. Could have been a priest or a preacher, couldn't he? Yeah, 100%. And he would have lived longer. This is why I don't like the title of that book, Destined to Die Young. It's bullshit. Elvis was not destined to die young. Him becoming famous shortened his life. if he hadn't become famous, he would have lived until his 80s, definitely. So the book Destined to Die Young, very stupid title. I would love to see you smile. Tonya, they were so good seeing them singing along and loving it. We can all smile together one day, God willing. Yeah, it's gonna happen. Right, let's just play the last few seconds, and then I want to see if I can get another bit of her saying when she met Elvis.
I don't want to start crying.
Are you lonesome too?
All right, I think that's the end of that. Right, come on. I want to see her. I want to see. I want to get Carol Connors talking about Elvis. Let's see if we can get it up. Carol Connors. I don't have long left. Talks about Elvis. Let's see if we can get something in here. Because it needs to be short. Let's have a look. Come on, let's find something that's not too long. It has to be her talking about Elvis. It needs to be that. Let's just say Carol Connors and Elvis. Let's see if that works. It needs to be something short. Let's have a look. Oh, this might do it. Here we go. Let's try this.
Carol Connors was at the market buying a bottle of milk when a creep. He says, "Aren't you the girl who sang 'To know him is to love him'?" The singer or songwriter recalled, referring to her 1958 hit. "I went, yeah," she said. He said, "Elvis Presley would love to meet you." And I went, "Right, sure, yeah, of course." He said, "No, I mean it. He loves your voice."
I think this is like an artificial intelligence one. I'll play a bit of it and then we'll probably find another one.
The two-time Oscar-nominated star has written a new memoir, Elvis, Rocky and Me, which details her decades-long career and the many adventures that came with it. The entertainer is also the subject of an upcoming documentary.
Right, yeah, so, no, I want to get one. I want her own words. Let's see if we can get it. I want her words. Some of these artificial intelligent interviews, they're a bit ridiculous. Let me just try this one. Carol Connors on Elvis. Right, let's see what this is, guys.
I never took voice lessons. I did go to see a very famous singer, coach, but this was like way after To Know Him Is to Love Him. To know him. I mean, way after. And it was named Seth Riggs. And he said, actually, what you're doing right. You're breathing correctly. And, because I have a very big range, like my mother. That's why if you listen to Know Him Is to Love Him, why can't he see? It goes way to the top of my range. And before I have to go into like a head tone. You know what I'm saying? But he said that.
So I wanted to talk about Elvis because I haven't got that much time. Let's have a look. Let's just try this.
Literally knew to put the high note at the top of my register. It's a D above high C, and that's high, but I was able to hit it, but always.
Right, here we go. Let's try here.
And one of his Memphis Mafia, that's what they called the guys, came up to me at a market and he said, "Aren't you the girl that sang To Know Him Is to Love Him?" And I went, "Yeah." He was a real creepy guy. He said, "Well, Elvis would like to meet you." And I went, "Right, sure." But being like my dad, which was a bit of a gambling man, but he never gambled, but jockeys live on the edge. I said, I gave him my phone number. And sure enough, he called me. And 2 weeks later, he called me and he said, okay, I'm going to pick you up. We're going to go to Elvis's house. Now, normally you'd go, no, you're not going to Elvis Presley's house, and this could be a mass murderer for all you know. But I went because I'm adventurous. And I went, and that was.
Come on, I went because I'm adventurous. You went because it was Elvis. Come on, let's get real. Best looking man in the world, sexiest man on the planet. And you're adventurous. We love Carol. Heavenly, what would you say to Elvis a few months before he passed away? If he walked past you and he was your friend, what would you say to him? Heavenly.
Was the night that I met Elvis.
What was your relationship like with Elvis?
He was my first boyfriend. Remember, it was years later. I had not met him, but he went into the Army in 1958. To Know Him Is to Love Him was #1, the biggest record of the year in 1958. And he met Priscilla, whom I am now friends with and used to live down
No, you're friends with Priscilla. Don't do it.
the street from me in I think he met her in 1958. So maybe that was, I never asked him this, never thought of this, but maybe that was like one of their songs. You know, I mean, if he loved it so much, and it's a love song, basically, why did it amazes me when I stop to think about it, that it was so sort of, you know, symbiotic, intertwined, you know, and he was very special. The first words he said to me were, he was like this beautiful cat, and I was like a little mouse. And I walked down these steps, and I was standing near the pool table, and he was on the other side of the room, and he came over and he said, so why'd you name group the Teddy Bears? And I thought to myself,
why'd you name your group the Teddy Bears? I just want to be your teddy bear.
that's Elvis Presley talking to me. And I went, I didn't know what to say. I was like speechless. So I went, just want to be your teddy bear. And that started our love affair. I thought I had a great sense of humor.
Carol will always remember.
Okay. So guys, we've only got a couple of minutes left. Let's just click on this one, and then I'm gonna have to go, guys.
So I'm here with Carol Connors today, and I just have one word to say about Carol. There are many incredible adjectives, but the one word that comes to mind with Carol Connors is Rocky.
Oh God, yes, I think so.
Definitely.
Even on some of my pictures it says Carol and then in parentheses Rocky Connors, because I'm in a Rocky robe. Hey yo, I can even talk like Sylvester Stallone. Okay, fine. I was very lucky. I just absolutely came up with the concept of Gonna Fly Now, because you know, we were in a screening room. I got $500 up front.
That's it.
That was it. I think Bill Conti didn't get too much more. I think a couple thousand. The whole music budget of Rocky was $18,000. Rocky won, and the entire budget of the film was $980,000. That was the entire budget. And I remember that we went to see the film, and of course, you know, if I threw a punch to you, you wouldn't hear it because there were no sound effects,
Right.
and there was only one song that Sly's brother had written. So John Avildsen and Bill and everybody came to my home afterwards, and we were sitting, and Bill went to my piano and went, not this piano and not this house, because this is a house that Rocky built. Hey, thank you, Sly. Thank you, Bill. And he went, ba 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 ba.
I got chills.
And I went, what? What? And they all left. And Ann Robbins was here too. And I went into the shower. And all of a sudden, I could see the film running through my head. I saw him running. I saw everything about the film. And I called up Bill. These were the days before cell phones. So I took my phone with my electric cord into the shower. And I called Bill Conti. And I said, Bill, I know what the film's about. I know what life's about. I know what the song's about. And he said, where are you? And I went, I'm in the shower. And he said, Carol, do me a favor. give me the line before you electrocute yourself.
Oh my God.
And the line was, gonna fly now. Because at that moment in time, Rocky, when he was running and pounding the beef and you know, and you could see Philadelphia and it was cold and dark and bringing the yolks and he climbed up those steps. At that moment, he could go the distance, he could win, he could even fly. He could do anything any of us set our minds to. And that was what the concept was, because the film is about the underdog.
Yeah.
About doing what the best you can do. And when he put his hands up, John Avildsen, director, and it went into slow-mo, the bottom line was he could even fly. Hence the title, Gonna Fly, 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 which I sang on, by the way.
Nice.
We didn't have any money, so I was singing on it too.
$500 got you everything.
That got everything, you know?
Everything, all in.
Yes, all in. But then I bought my house and things have been...
Guys, only got 2 minutes left. I'm going to be doing a dog walk live next, okay, guys, in about half an hour. So I'm going to let this play out. I've got to go. Guys, thank you for joining me. We've had a brilliant time. All of you, thank you so much for joining me in Southwest UK on a freezing cold British day. Team Elvis, you rock. But I gotta go, guys. I'll let this play out, okay? So I'm sending you all love. Thank you so much for joining me.
Wonderful since.
Yeah, it's been licensed a few times.
A few, yes. A few thousand million.
Right?
Thank God.
I just think it's kind of cool though, because I think that what kids today, I mean, I think every guy I know uses that song and that movie as their inspiration for everything, even kids today. And I think what's so special about you is that you're so feminine, you're so pretty, you're so effervescent.
Thank you.
And it's
Who is this lady? I don't know who this lady is. Let me know, guys.
such a guy movie. It's so cool to me that you were a co-writer on the biggest male theme song of all time.
Sometimes it boggles my mind because, you know, Ann Robbins and I worked together on it and we were both
So Heavenly, it was 1958. I'm pretty sure it was 58 that they met.
girls, and I mean, it's like, what? Girls came up with that? But you know, just because we're girls, I mean, we climb and we want to be successful and we want to go the distance and be the best we can be. But you're right, it was considered, it's such a male entity. And
Such a clever lady, isn't she? Such a gifted, talented, beautiful, really amazing person, Carol Connor.
today it is, they say, it is like the most important today, doesn't mean it won't change tomorrow, thematic piece of music that the minute you hear ba ba, you know what it is.
Your heart stops.
But you know what it is. It's like Moon River.
Right.
Da da da. That's all you have to do. You know what it is. And the irony of it, or I don't know if that's the right word I want to use, but I'm the only girl in the history of music that ever wrote a hot rod song, ever, called "Hey Little Cobra" by the Ripcords, and it went to #1. Well, it went to #1 on 2 of the magazines and not Billboard, because the Beatles had just come out and they literally jumped above us and took "I Want to Hold Your Hand."
Yeah.
And they took the #1 spot. But it's considered today one of the great iconic songs about cars because it was the forerunner to the Ford GT.
Right.
You know, and people would, Brian Wilson, great story, he came up to me and he said, "We always knew it was written by a and he sort of spit the word
Oh
out.
my gosh.
And I said, "Well, Brian, how did you know that?" Batted my eyes a bit. And he said, "Because you can't take your car out of gear and let it coast to the line." And I went, "Brian," you know, he was a genius of the Beach Boys.
Right, of course.
I said, "If you're that far in front, you can."
You can.
Okay, guys, that's it. I'll be back. We're going to do some dog walk lives, and then we're going to come back. Probably the next live on the laptop will be Elvis Presley fan on keto. Thanks for joining me, all of you. I've loved it. We've had such great lives this morning. 2 brilliant lives. Thanks, guys. All the best. I'm Anik here. See you soon. Love you all. You're the best. Team